Welcome to The Lost Signals discusses film and TV. Using the revolutionary Manzur-Amosi Thurlow scale,
or MONS,
we scrupulously review these art forms with an emphasis on narrative structure. Join us for another entertaining episode.
Good evening, everyone. We are The Lost Signals, and today we will be reviewing 2018's James Wan's Aquaman, starring Jason Momoa, Amber Heard, Patrick Wilson, Nicole Kidman, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Dolph Lundgren, and also Willem Dafoe. I'm Luis Duran, here with my comic book colleagues, Richard Perry.
What's up?
And Chris Morgan.
Good evening.
So I guess we'll just jump right into it.
Oh, yeah. Wait, logline, Jason Momoa's The Little Mermaid. So we'll run right into the plot of that. So it starts off with Nicole Kidman's character, Queen Atlanta, washing up on shore after running away from her arranged marriage. She falls in love with Arthur's father. They have Arthur. She ends up having to go back to the ocean to keep them safe. Arthur eventually has to deal with the fact that years later, Arthur has to deal with the fact that his brother's trying to get revenge on the land dwellers for all the things that they've been doing to the sea. In order to do that, he has to find not his grandfather, I guess the one true King Trident.
Yeah.
To challenge him and take back rulership of Atlantis and bridge the gap between the top world and the sea. The end.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. The MacGuffin is the Trident. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right.
So I'd say, I don't know, did you want to score for a second?
Oh, yeah. No, let's see. I think I could give it a full 3. But it had its moments and it would drag a little bit and then pick back up. And it just felt a little too long for me in some spots. That they could have taken some bits out and made it a tighter cut. But I think it's getting a solid 2 for me.
Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely 2. I agree with you. It got slow. This film could have done with some editing, and in terms of internal lameness in the film, the Manta fight in Italy was not really all that impressive. So, but I am going to say I'm going to give it a 2 because I did thoroughly enjoy the movie.
Yeah, I agree with you guys too that you could have trimmed the fat a little bit because some of it seemed just like filler. And prior to the podcast, we were talking about things that they could have used instead to kind of do more world building or know a little bit more about the Atlanteans or just to see people in general. Because otherwise, when there wasn't substance, it was pretty clear for me. So. Otherwise, speaking of the plot itself and the writing and everything, I think it was fine. It was cheesy. It embraced the cheesiness, which I really liked, and I think if as long as they did that, even though trying to be grounding and say this is taking place on Earth, no, it's.
Plus, I like how they kept it local, so to speak. There wasn't really there wasn't too much of mention of the previous movies. Except for a throwaway line of Aquaman fighting against Steppenwolf. But he's already past that by the time the movie starts.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of a big deal, right? That shouldn't be a plot point you kind of forget. Unless they are consciously not talking about that so people don't remember how bad Justice League was.
But, well, I mean, Steppenwolf was just so boring. It's just I keep forgetting that it's not Doomsday they fought. It's somehow Batman v Superman and Justice League kind of merged in one way, except I enjoyed Justice League and Batman v Superman was painful to watch.
Yeah. So that's good. I mean, I would say I'd give it a 2, just because, everything that we kind of all agreed on, it's a solid 2 though.
Yeah, I agree.
I can't for the life of me give it a soft 0 or soft 3, just because. I mean, like, well, I'll talk about it later with recommendation, I guess. So, Chris, do you want to pick up on themes there?
Yeah. The main theme I got from this is that humanity pollutes the oceans and really fucks up our planet, which was really funny because part of me was really kind of rooting for the bad guy. I was kind of rooting for Patrick Wilson because I didn't disagree, but I also don't think washing up a bunch of crap and aircraft carriers and so forth is actually
destroying a bunch of cities.
Yeah, so basically you're ruining the land for sea. Thematically, it's got the whole thing of family again. Preconceptions. I don't think thematically it's anything special, unless you guys agree. I mean, because I said you got the family themes. You have the themes that were destroying our planet, which I can't disagree with. But I don't really see, unless you guys can think of something else, I don't see anything that really stands out.
I mean, if you squint, you can kind of see the how you need to find a middle ground as far instead of being on two extremes. Because even Aquaman, the whole movie wants to, like, he acknowledges that what the surface world is doing to the oceans is really bad, but he wants to, I don't know, come to them peacefully and like try to work out a conclusion or find a workaround that doesn't involve mass genocide.
That's true, and I do like the fact that you said squint if you can see, and then this middle ground. That's a really nice. So props to you.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of it like that. That Aquaman, well, he is the kind of the ambassador to both sides, right? Like he's the mix that grew up kind of mainly on land, but now he's sought to embrace the ocean, not to run from it. Like he's be the castaway that he has been for so long. And yeah, like I do enjoy that.
Arthur, you can bring balance to the land and the sea.
Yeah. But like besides that, I can't really see too much. I saw a little bit of like the fear of science. How they say like we try to achieve too much and technology backfired on us. Like I'm not sure where they were going with that theme. Although they were like the weapons are very destructive.
Yeah.
That was really cool. How they had those like antimatter guns.
Yeah.
powered by water.
Yeah. So it's
Which begs the question: how the fuck did they lose against Steppenwolf? Why were they just using spears that whole time?
Yeah.
Well, because Aquaman was rejecting his life. I mean, Amber Heard had to calm down to get.
No, I mean when he snatched the mother box from him, like they had all that weaponry, and just 3 guys floating around a box.
Yeah. Well, let's just chalk it up to Justice League is really flawed, and nobody really gave it much thought.
True.
I'm good with that. So what would you score this one?
I'm good at 1. I mean,
yeah,
it had themes. They were there.
I was gonna give it a 0, but Rich, I squinted the middle ground with Rich, and I'll give it maybe a softer 1, but I'll definitely give it a 1.
I think you've definitely convinced me that it is worthy of a 1. Because there are movies, and it's painfully obvious that there are no themes, or they didn't even bother and just shoehorn later. But this one, I mean, this might be one of the most common, stories structure theme wise. So, and it was fun. It was enjoyable. I liked it. So I'll give it a 1.
Yeah. I mean, because I was rooting for Arthur, and I really did want to see him bring balance. I did understand that, So yes, themes definitely, yeah. Middle ground is the.
I like the middle ground for sure. Okay, so I will start with antagonist, and this one I think can be blurred. It can cross the line where it was like Aquaman obviously is not the antagonist, but like the superficial part of me is saying, Black Manta, although not really, because he's a little although they were thieves and trying to like cause a war and everything. I like seeing how Aquaman kind of grew and like tried to be not more passive, but he understood like not saving Black Manta's father kind of reared its ugly head, and like your past mistakes might come back and haunt you.
I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody saw that coming a mile away. I just want to like yell through the screen like, dude, just fucking save him. Like, you're gonna make things worse.
That would have been compelling. But Ocean Master also. But the thing is, like, if like the undertone of this film obviously could be like the human race, the land dwellers that we're called, like kind of being the catalyst to this. And I mean, obviously I won't go that route. But like Ocean Master, I think served pretty good moving, like a plot pusher.
What I liked about him is that like usually during the third act, like you see the villains just like take a few levels of crazy and just like jump right off the deep end. Like he went to war with the Brian, but at the same time you saw like the gradual build up to that. Like it wasn't he didn't go from like calm to fucking let's kill everyone. Like
I do like also that they didn't have him outright win like you sometimes see. Like that Arthur wasn't good enough to fight or anything like that. And actually, it was just it was him almost doing the death blow, but it wasn't something ridiculous like somebody called it off. No, like they just was it Mira, Amber Heard's character, just like takes him and goes off because he's like, yeah, you're not ready.
Yeah.
Well, that is the thing I liked about the final thing is that Orm, when he realized it was like humility that actually, when he saw his mom and he realized like where he was, he kind of like conceded.
Plus the fact that like the first time they fought in his area where he grew up in his entire life, and then like Aquaman took it to the surface for that win.
And also, Manta was really cool. I loved that he was able to be hands-on and like alter the tech when it was given to him, like be able to make the suit.
Yeah,
which was it really showed like how the villains actually were trying to stay, close to their counterparts.
Yeah, I did like that too, which is why I know they were trying to establish him for the next movie, but like that's why I was a little disappointed in the fight because. Yeah, they did, as you said, set him up at the beginning. You knew that that the father, just save him to prevent, Manta, and he did seem to be a villain who actually, did have a motive, but he was also smart. He took like you said, took the technology and modified it for himself. I don't think I hope they make another movie, and I hope he really gets to shine more.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're going to, and he will.
Good, I hope so.
Yeah, a cool trope that I also like that they didn't do with them is that they team up. Like, they're secretly teaming up. Like, he does help him with the submarine, but then when Manta wants to, like, keep going, he's like, I just want Aquaman. Orm straight up sounds like, no, we're done. Like, this is our matter to deal with now. So I thought that was, I don't know, that was just
do love they
pretty
left,
cool.
like, all that money up there still.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I was waiting for when the camera was panning out for him, just, like, after they leave, just start...
Yeah. I'd still take the money, yeah, of course.
Like, you can take the money. I just want all right, dude. Like, see ya.
So with that said, I like this as a 1.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. And I think as we discussed, I think the fact that the villains weren't quite villains, especially not Orm. Patrick Wilson.
Ocean Master.
Well, I was really refreshing to see that humility, to see like, oh my God, my mom is alive.
Oh, you know what line got me? When they're about to fight, and he just straight up admits, he's like, I used to hate you, but now I like regret. It's like, I do not want to kill you, and like, I'm giving you this chance to leave. Like, we don't have to fight. Just don't come back here. Just let me do my thing. I'm like, damn, like usually the villain just like, he's always out for the hero's throat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did show some restraint for that.
So you say you give it a 1? Also?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. It's looking pretty good. All right, Rich, you got protagonist.
Protagonist. Arthur Curry. He's a solid hero. Like, he's actually expecting him to be a lot more punchy than he was. He was way more level-headed than I was expecting. And was very chill.
Yeah.
Extremely chill. And he had solid makings of a solid protagonist. Had a good head on his shoulders. Heart was in the right place. He was actually surprisingly the heart for most of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked the fact that he really was human, and that what they tried, which they tried, obviously, to do with Man of Steel, which they failed completely on, in my opinion, on all subsequent movies. They really succeeded in Wonder Woman, and here they let them be people. They let them be well-rounded. They actually had a character arc, and I'm kind of building on what you said, because I really,
and you could really tell that he's like not quite an all-loving hero. Like, he's got his moments, obviously. He let that dude die.
And he was resistant to a selfie at first.
Yeah. But, like, he goes out of his way to just, like, especially anybody, like, carries over from Justice League, too. He just goes out of his way to save people that are out at sea.
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
Yeah, really, I do like those qualities, too. It's because I thought going into this, I mean, it was going to be, like, an action-packed blockbuster. I thought they were going to ham it up more with him. But we mentioned before, they embraced the cheesiness, and they made him actually more like a soothing character.
Yeah, like my favorite moments with him in this movie weren't even the fight scenes. It's just like him chilling with his dad, having a drink.
Yeah.
Him like enjoying the seaside with Mira, or like doing an archaeological dig.
Yeah, she just jumps right out of the plane, right?
Yeah.
And
he just goes along.
And one of the things I loved was
some impromptu skydiving.
Yeah, oh, that was awesome. Yeah, and I know I thought they had great chemistry. I know there's a lot of back and forth as to whether he and Amber Heard had chemistry. I thought they did, but what I really liked, I mean, you know, I really liked you know, put enough Guinness in him, and he'll take a selfie with you. But like when he and his dad are driving back, and his dad's threatened. You know, I mean, there is so much. I mean, that, you know, Jason Momoa's chops, even in something like that, which could have been over the top, weren't. And, you know, I really gave a shit about him, and I cared about his dad.
Because they very easily could have had him, like, doing the whole freak out, like, dad, type of thing.
Yeah, and his dad died, or they keep his dad unknown until the end. I liked Arthur a lot. Aside from the fact of being a fan of Jason Momoa, I liked his character. I liked what they did with it.
Oh, and of course, the fact that he shows mercy to his brother. It was like he's like, whenever you're ready, like, we need to talk and hash this out.
Yeah, I love that.
And he's just like, throughout the whole movie, he's just like, I just wanted to know my baby brother, and to like tell him that, let him know that he's not alone in the world.
Yeah, I'm wondering in the future films, because they build him up a lot. Like, he gets his mother back too.
Yeah.
And I'm expecting the next movie to just be really bad. just a bad day for him. But
yeah, I hope like with the Wonder Woman movie that they really find out what worked, and that, you know, the character development of both characters, and because that's what Man of Steel to me was lacking. I felt that they started it when he was a child, they did it really well, but once he got to be a teenager, he became insufferable. I think when you see these two characters grow up, when they get to adolescence and beyond, I think their character arcs are really good. They're handled differently, and obviously in both movies, but I think they did a really good a job with their character arcs.
Yeah, That's a 1 from me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'll definitely give it a 1. Alrighty, Chris. What do you think about supporting?
I would give supporting a 1 just for his dad alone. I'm actually a fan of the actor. I saw a movie about 20 years ago called Once Were Warriors. Great movie, devastating. Highly recommend it, but you'd probably only want to see it once. I think he's, aside from him, I think he did a really great job, and really his character. And I think it was important to cast somebody like him because he really helped ground that part of Arthur and really helped ground the movie and the land. In a very subtle way. He wasn't over the top. I mean, I felt that these two guys were real father and son, and I thought he was really, really important. He wasn't just a plot device, as a lot of characters could tend to be. So on him alone, I'd give this a very strong 1. I think Amber Heard's character was a great, who also she could have been overwritten as well. And they did have some tongue-in-cheek, romancing the stone moments. But overall, she was sincere and, worked with Willem Dafoe. I think in a lot of ways, these characters were really grounded, like the supporting characters. I definitely, it's going to get a 1 just on the strength of these two, but I did like Willem Dafoe's character. Obviously, I liked Nicole Kidman's character. I thought these really helped give different dimensions to Arthur to support and to run a check on him always. I do see that they functioned very well, and so I have to give supporting a really strong 1.
Yeah, for me, I'll include like even the extras, the little moments between when they were in that little village, and the interactions they had. Arthur going back and kind of repaying them for the damage that they caused. It was cool, like in the bar scene where they take the selfie. Like all that was pretty cheesy and cool, but it made sure that the actors behind them or the extras behind them weren't just painted there.
Yeah,
like they actually were interacting and moving around, because it's literally a superhero sitting over there. Like, you'd think people wouldn't come up like randomly. And,
it was a fleshed out community.
Yeah, but yeah, by far, I love Nicole Kidman. She was great. Dolph Lundgren, can't forget Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah, man, he like made his character actually made me realize something, that a lot of the people in this movie were bound by honor. It's like as soon as it became apparent that like he had the trident, Mir's just like, he's got the trident, he's our king. It's like, all right, stand down. So stop fighting, everybody. Time to go home.
Seriously.
Oh, but by far, I think Willem Dafoe. I think he's great at everything, pretty much. But damn, I had no idea. Before the podcast started, I was like, I saw him and I was like, that's Willem Dafoe. That's awesome.
Yeah, his hair is a little weird, but I'll give it that. And the voice acting, and we've got
Julie Andrews, Jenny Davies. Julie Andrews, I think, was my favorite because she's going off on this whole monologue while she's beating the shit out of Aquaman, and then finds out that he understands her, which implies that she's been doing this. Every time somebody comes in, she's been talking shit while she's keeping them from the trident. She's like, oh, you can hear me? It's like, I've been so lonely down here. No one ever talks to me as the king.
Go on.
That was it.
No, because that you pointed out something when we went to see it. Because, as somebody who loves the sea, I never really thought about how cool it would be to talk to fish. But they really took something that's always been a joke about Aquaman, and with Julie Andrews' character, and how he communicates the fish to kind of like the sharks and the whales and everything that are actually part of the battle, communicates with them. They actually did service to that and put it really well into the movie, that they gave it some logic to it. So this joke that he always was, in Super Friends in the 70s.
Like, I never really got the joke. Like, most of the world is made of water. Mm-hmm. Like, he's got an entire fucking army, the biggest army in existence, at his beck and call.
Yeah, and this me personally, who's been a shark fanatic since I can remember, who wanted to at one time be a marine biologist. You think me of all people would have not been hopped on that wagon, man?
It's like everybody's laughing at him. He's just like, all right, try going swimming again. See what happens.
Let's talk to the man of wars. Don't attack me, please. Those jellyfish, that school of bluefish when you're out there swimming.
Worst nightmare.
Yeah, you could just tell the lifeguard, no, I got this. Put your whistle away. I got this.
So yeah, that gets a 1 from me.
Yeah, I got a kick out of everybody.
Oh man, I was worried I get stuck with this. I was gonna look up the Jules Verne quote. I forgot what it was, but it made me. I had to go back and rewatch it or rehear it because it just I don't know how it fit into the story. But that's for another time, another day. Dialogue, it might be the weakest part, but it's not. I don't think it's the bad thing because it wasn't like we said before. It was cheesy, and they embraced it. But there was also compelling moments and like very emotional things that
honestly,
cool.
I was tricked throughout the whole movie because literally anything out of Patrick Wilson's mouth, no matter how cheesy it was compelling because it came from him.
Willem Dafoe to and Dolph Lundgren, like they were all like they. I think it's a testament of the actors of what they did with the dialogue. Because if we were to read it out loud here, like it's all the cadences, the way their inflections and everything, and they actually. I think they believe in the script.
Mm-hmm.
They do. Everything was delivered with sincerity. Even Rich's favorite line.
Which one was that again?
Tears?
Oh, yes. Oh, man. Where I'm from, the ocean washes away our tears. Up here, we feel them.
I was thinking that. I'm like, this is going to get a 0.
Chills.
Oh, man, that might actually get a 1 from me.
Somebody actually wrote that.
That line is going to give me joy.
It was
years.
Eye-rolling and cringing, but by the same token, absolutely positively unforgettable.
I like to think at the table reading, everyone started laughing, and then the writer's just like, "No, that's actually just they're being sincere."
I wonder how quickly they had to cut away from those takes. And cut.
Well, it just shows you what how good these actors are. That they could say that with sincerity. But you were talking the strength of the acting. I mean, up and down.
Yeah, you're right.
These guys all took it as seriously as it needed to be without being over the top serious.
I think that's why I enjoy this movie so much. Is how everybody I've never seen so many people know exactly what kind of movie they were in. Like they gave it the amount of heft it needed. They knew when to hold back. They knew when to play up the goofiness.
I think for me, I'll give it a 1, but a soft 1. Because I love the campiness. Like I'm just a fan of these kind of cheesy movies and stuff. Like I'll watch Batman Forever and Batman and Robin if it's on TV, and whenever it's on, just because it's campy. It's funny.
Like the dialogue in Solo tried to be this. You know, and it failed miserably. It was atrocious.
I did not like that.
I like the movie, but I mean, someone like Donald Glover couldn't even save that dialogue. Woody Harrelson couldn't save that dialogue. But this movie, the dialogue could have been that bad really easily. Actually, this movie could have been bad in every way, shape, and form very easily.
Suicide Squad. which is how I felt when Pitbull came on. Because I was like, if you ever want to know a way to misuse music, this is it.
That was the worst choice.
I'd be better with silence.
That's the worst scene that they... Actually, there was no scene in this movie where they could have played that. No. The bar. Yeah. They could have played it at the bar.
Perfect.
In the background.
When did they play the Pitbull song?
When they were flying over the Sahara.
Yeah.
All right.
Which is just...
That was so fucking jarring. Fuck that song.
Somebody forgot last minute they had to put it in there. Like, okay, just put it on right there. Yeah.
Wait, we paid for the song.
So, I mean, I'll give it a 1. Because, like I said, it's still funny. Me personally.
You know, you might have convinced me.
I agree. I'll give it a soft 1. I was going to give this a 0 as well. But you convinced me, sir.
It's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
The ocean just washed away that 0 that I was about to give it.
On land, we carry our zeros. In the ocean, we wash away the zeros.
All right, Rich, you got style.
1. This movie was fucking beautiful.
I agree.
It was so nice to look at, and I really want to see it in 3D at some point.
The thing that got me it's gonna sound really. It was kind of an ephemeral thing. Well, not really ephemeral, but Amber Heard's dress that was made out of the man of war. They were man of war, man. They were Portuguese man of war that served the collar. I mean, the way they utilized the sea creatures, the way they unified was just very clever. I mean, a lot of it was CGI, but the thing about it is to do something unique with it, not just throw up a bunch of CGI crap on screen, but to actually give it some thought. And there was a lot of thought given to a lot.
I think my 2 favorite scenes are the chase scene in Italy. I just love that whole one scene, and of course when they dive into the trench, and like the music just cuts out, and it's just the red light of the flare.
Yeah,
all the creatures just jumping in. You see hundreds of them as they like just swim further and further down, and the light goes out. That
was really well done. And then the reveal of Nicole Kidman at the end of that. Was just that was a great scene.
I think the colors in this movie are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like the shading and the lighting, but like the chase scenes or the fighting in the small village, like it's all very vibrant, but then it can be very dark and very gloomy real quick.
It was like watching a comic book come to life.
Mm-hmm. You get like the total opposites of the land and the sea.
And that's another thing that these DC movies are famous for is their reliance on sepia tones. I mean, I thought that Wonder Woman did get there at times, but overall, I think Wonder Woman was the brightest movie.
Yeah, but like it was.
But before,
like it made sense for her to use it when she did because it was during World War One.
Right, because they were in the trenches.
Yeah.
It wasn't just some Snyder aesthetic choice, but in this one, you were in the sea. And they really just embrace that. And like you said, in Wonder Woman, because World War One, but this they really just worked with what they had, and really knew what they really knew the movie they were making.
Yeah, I got to give a lot of credit to James Wan because I think I haven't seen much of his work, but if this is a style like this is the Aquaman, like. He set the tone, kind of like how other directors have done in the past with like superhero movies, especially, where like they make it their own, and everything's just beautiful. It was phenomenally shot. Like that, the fighting scenes are really pretty good choreographed. Just the costume and the weapon designs also. Manta looked amazing. Like he was just. Like, you want a suit like that. It's so cool looking.
And I liked how he's like, I need a bigger helmet. I mean, that was a nod to Jaws. But by the same token, it's like they had that line, but they actually gave a reason why he has this big saucer on his head.
I want the next movie to have like a bigger helmet. Not just to be his thing. Like every time he loses, just comes back with a larger helmet. It's like, come on, man. Like you got to calm down. Like, you can't make your helmet that big. Watch me. It's like as a neck support brace, like you can't turn. It's like constantly walking like this.
Oh, just be his ship will just be a big head.
Yeah.
He can't follow.
It's like
two legs at the bottom.
He can't follow Aquaman underwater because his head keeps him, on the surface.
It's like Robotnik or something.
Yeah. The head is the ship, and then like his body's just like kind of floating underneath.
A periscope.
So it's a 1 for me.
I agree.
I really do. I really did enjoy it. So now we're on to recommend.
Yes. I highly recommend this movie. It was a lot of fun. I had a good time with it. Obviously, in our discussions, this is actually... I walked in here expecting to give it a 7 with a recommendation, but I think if there's one major theme in this is they knew the film they were going to make from everybody, from every person in this cast, just treated the subject matter seriously, and I think this movie could have really fallen on its face, and it really, really, they did a great job with it.
Mm-hmm. I was very hesitant. I still maybe am. I've been asked by a few people, how it was and everything, and I didn't have much to say. But maybe because I was one of the only people that had seen it. But talking to you guys, the laughs that we have and everything, like, it's not... I do recommend it. It's a blockbuster action movie. Like, you don't go in expecting The Dark Knight or like Logan.
No.
But if you don't need to be a comic book fan to know. There's just it's a fun movie.
You didn't even expect Wonder Woman.
Yeah, and it's if you are a fan, like, this is DC's second best movie that they've come out with in the past 3 years, 4
Agreed.
years. So with that, I guess I'd change mine to a 1.
Yeah, like you said, it's a fun movie. Just kick back, relax, and enjoy. I mean, I would recommend seeing it in theaters because I'd get the whole experience, but if you don't want to spend the money, it's fine to watch at home, too.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun for the adults and the kids.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we got... So isn't that a 9?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we all give it a 9.
Solid movie.
Yeah. Yeah. My friend Sebastian, he even doesn't watch a lot of superhero movies. He texted me on New Year's and said, "I just saw Aquaman. It's awesome." And like I said, he doesn't really watch superhero movies, and even he really loved this. So I think that I think that's a testament to the appeal of this movie.
Mm-hmm. I'd say after that, go see Spider-Verse. We're resisting.
I totally want to see Spider-Verse.
Still have to see that.
It's so good. Well, anyway, I guess that about wraps it up. So if you guys want to say goodnight, we're the Lost Signals. I'm Luis Duran.
Rich Perry.
And then Chris Morgan. Safe swimming.
Have a good night, guys.
Editing and engineering by Christopher Morgan. Music by Christopher Morgan. Check us out on YouTube and iTunes for the shows, and on Facebook and Twitter for updates.
So a lumberjack walks into a mysterious... actually, it's a magical. Lumberjack walks into a magical forest. He goes up to cut a tree, and the tree says, "Stop, I'm a talking tree." Lumberjack says, "I know." Then you'll dialogue.
Or Mott's?